Okay, gentlemen, we're going to start with some men's physique here. This division is where I see the most mistakes out of all the divisions. Even though it's only 2 poses, the things we see in the men's physique is mind-blowing. You have to remember, you only have 2 poses here in men's physique, front and back. So if you lose one, you're in pretty big trouble. You know, let's just start off and talk a little bit about the trunks, because you have some choices with trunks. Go ahead.
Definitely. Yeah, definitely. One of them, I mean, you correct me if I'm wrong, but I like to have it a little snug, a little bit above the knee, not too much quad showing, but enough to where it shows it fitting. Obviously, you can have it a little bit over large, but that's the way I like it, as you've seen. What do you think?
Recently, there's been a big trend where the shorts are getting shorter and tighter.
Yeah.
And it's usually not a flattering look for the physique. It usually makes the physique look boxier, more square, straight up and down.
It's different.
It's usually not a flattering look. Some people can pull it off. The biggest thing we notice with trunks, they are pulled down too low. From the front and especially the back. When they're pulled down in the back below, and it elongates the torso and throws the symmetry and balance off and really hurts a physique. You know, so the first thing is pulling those up all the way up above them hips and everything, not showing too much of those those creases there. You know, we see guys pulling these trunks down the whole time they're up there, and all we want to see is them pulled up so that we can see their physique properly. You know, are you getting ready for anything now?
I'm getting ready for the show that I think you're about to judge, DC Pro.
The DC Pro, perfect.
Yeah,
so, how far away from the?
We're 16 weeks out now.
16 weeks. Yeah. It doesn't look like you're too out of shape, though.
Nah, you'll see.
So you like to stay pretty close to?
I like to, and you know what I mean. I mean, what do you think? I think too much muscle is too much muscle.
Well,
we need a balanced physique, right?
We definitely want a balanced physique.
Yeah.
We do not want that super density and grainy look. We want very conditioned. We want very lean, very separated, very clean look. We do not want that density, that graininess, and that muscularity to be too much. And we do not want arms or shoulders that overpower the rest of the physique. Everything has to be in balance in this division, you know? So, anything you want to talk about this?
Well, if you guys actually watched the Olympia last year, right now, Brandon Hendricks, who is our Olympia, a lot of people said, oh my God, this guy is big. If you see this guy, you could attest about this, Bill. Brandon Hendricks in person is not that big of a guy. He has an illusion of actually looking bigger because of his round belly muscles, but we do not want to see that extra bulky, dense muscle.
The other thing is, in this division, you have to pose for your physique. Some athletes need to pose bigger. Others, like a Raymond Evans or some of them, they have to pose a little smaller to not make themselves look too big and overpowering.
And the biggest thing in this division is that there's only 2 poses. 2 poses. If you get one pose wrong, you have 50% chance of losing. If you get 2 of them right, you have a 50% chance of winning. So that's an analogy that you can't go wrong with. So you have to get them both right.
Exactly.
Can we get you to pose a little bit?
Yep. Now, once again, when we're judging, we talked a little bit about this with the women. What we are doing up there with your first looks, you're coming out being compared in a group of 6. You want to be in your best pose, because we are taking every individual that's on that line and slotting them into which call out we want them in. So the goal is to get into that first call out, so you do not want to not be able to do one of these poses properly in our first look, because if that happens, you're automatically out of that first call out. you know? So go ahead and hit a front stance. Good, notice shoulders are even. This year we changed the rule for men's physique, and you can now put your number on your dominant hip, whichever hip you're facing the judges, so you never have to switch. Stand straight so the judges can see your numbers. Shoulders even. There is a lot of options with a front pose for men's physique. Do one straight on. Just, yep. Now you can put either hand on a hip. Yep. Either one. You just got to figure out which one's best for you. You can do either side. You can even turn more and show us more of a twist or a slant. So you have a lot of options. The key is shoulder to waist taper, shoulders even. We want to see the lats. We want clean lines.
You want what works best for you on that pose. A lot. Throw that front pose that a lot of guys have been doing.
Oh yeah, the Superman.
Yeah, we call it the Superman pose. This doesn't work for everybody.
Be very careful with this. There's maybe 3 people that I've seen that this looks really good on and works for them. For the most part, at the amateur level, I'd avoid this pose until you are developed more and filled in gaps. Because when you come out and you're showing us your best pose, we are looking for what you're missing. We are looking for weaknesses. We are looking, you know, to see what you have and don't have, whether we're putting you in that call out and how you compare against someone else.
In the men's division, I say this pose is a night show pose. Transition.
Honestly, I wouldn't do it unless, you know, you have to have a really small waist, nice wide shoulders. Those lats have to be filled in, insert nice and low to pull that pose off.
All right.
So now we're going to face the rear. Now, notice his elbows. They are not very high. Pull them up. When you do this, you immediately lose your lats. You're just taking up space, but you are leaving holes here. So you actually look smaller just with your arms out. So you want to keep those elbows down, keep the hands down. This way, there's less light coming through here. You have that filled in. You know, the biggest mistake we see from the back is overposing. When you're doing a front pose from the front and the back pose, they are very similar. There's not much change in where your hands and elbows go, you know? Go ahead and face front. What we do not want to see, and we have started to see a lot, mostly because some of the pros do it, we let them get away with it. They get a little more leadway. We don't really like it. We do not like over the head poses. First of all, go ahead and do one like when you're a little like, or like a bicep on one side. You know, you're showing us weaknesses. You know, especially in this division, it's too much. We don't want the hands over the head at all. Pose for your division. If you want to do those poses, move up to the classic division. You know what I mean? Where you get to pose. We do not want to see that, especially at the NPC level. And we really don't like it at the pro level. And I've never seen it help anyone's physique in men's physique.
And one of the changes that we talked about at the seminar not long ago in Pittsburgh is that T-walk is over. So you guys coming out to the side from the back, I see this in NPC, for IFBB is still good, but in the NPC coming out to the side, to the back of the stage and then coming to the front, that's over. That's completely done. It's done in bikini, it's done in wellness, it's done in figure, it's done in women's physique, it's done in every division when it comes to doing the T-walk. They call it the T-walk. That's over in the NPC. IFBB pros, you earn that right.
Why don't we have him demonstrate a proper presentation? So we're just gonna have you walk here front pose for 2 count, transition, back pose front. All we want to see is front, back,
For
front.
MPC. Let's do it for MPC. So you go straight to the box. So as you can tell, he just comes out, goes straight to the box. He doesn't go to the back of the stage and walks to the front. He just goes straight to the box, does the front post, transition, back post, shows it, and comes back to the front. If you cannot do that in 15 seconds, then you really didn't practice.
That's all we're looking for. You know, we don't want you to come out and hit 3 adjustments of a front pose. I'll do the front side to the other side. No, stay on the front. Just do switch hips and switch legs. Thank you. Next. You haven't even been able to get to your back. And then you're going to feel awkward. You're going to feel like we didn't see you. We don't want to do that. We don't want you to do that because we'd love to give you more time. If you're at a smaller show, great. We're probably going to give you more time and leave you out there. But based on numbers in the show is how we determine how long you guys have out there, how many times you present at the show. We want to give you as much time as possible. But if we have 400 athletes at a show, and we have a time frame, we have a union there, we have a lot of other things that go into having a show, we have a certain time frame we have to get that done by. And we don't want any athletes to get extra time, because then it's not fair to other athletes, because then they're gonna get less time. You know, so avoid that situation for yourself, you know, because we're gonna have Tony, the head judge will say thank you, someone like Tony will take you off, and then it's just awkward after that.
And if you guys can see, he's always been on the box the whole time. I don't think he has gotten off that box, and that's the reason for it. So stay on that box. There's a lot of purposes for that box. It's not just for us to be able to see you, but then we have JM taking the pictures for NPC News Online. That's where you're going to look the best as well.
So that's a big thing. We see a lot of people miss the box. They go behind the box. They go next to the box. The box is there for a reason. Please, for your sake, get in there. We want to create the perfect picture so you have those pictures, so it can be put up on the NPC and you look your best. You know, so really try and hit that box, stay in that for that routine. And this is what's going to help you get in that first call out. You know, how you present yourself there. If you don't get to show us your back because you took too long on your front, that's going to hurt whether you're in that first call out or not.
Let's bring people up. All right, let's get the first group.